What's up? Welcome to the Kenyon Seller Show. Today we are talking about assets and liabilities. We are going to cover the differences between the two. We are also going to cover what assets you want to be invested in, or what assets you want to have your money into, or what assets you want to own, whatever way you want to look at it, the assets that you want to have, and then the liabilities that you want to avoid. Now, a lot of these liabilities are going to upset people because a lot of us own them. And I was one of those people until I got serious about my wealth building journey. And the reason I say serious is because a lot of people want to build wealth, and a lot of people want to be heavy in the asset column and slim in the liability column, but they don't understand that it comes with a huge sacrifice if you really want to be serious about it. All right. So again, assets versus liabilities is what we will be covering. All right. So with assets are essentially anything that helps put money into your pocket. It's anything that you own that's worth a certain amount of money, a certain dollar figure, whatever you want to call it. That's assets. So essentially, you want assets that help pay your bills. You want assets that help build your wealth. You want assets that help give you cash flow. So essentially, when it comes to accumulating assets, you want to look for things that help you increase your net worth, increase your return on investment. Ideally, you want it to provide cash flow, because otherwise, what are you investing for? So when it comes to stocks, a lot of stocks don't offer what's called dividends. And because a stock doesn't offer a dividend, that means that the stock doesn't give you what's called cash flow. And the reason is because a lot of stocks and a lot of companies decide to keep the money inside of the company to help further the company's growth. And ideally, you want a company that's kind of stable enough already, that's still in growth mode, but not in heavy growth mode, where they can start giving you some of your money back as an investor in that company. So, for example, McDonald's is a company that's well grown. It's already pretty much at its pinnacle of growth. And now all they pretty much do is put money into marketing and being innovative. They're not heavily focused on opening up more McDonald's, because there are plenty of McDonald's across the world already as it is. So that's not their focus. So you want assets like that, assets that are stable, secure, and provide cash flow. Now, for liabilities, you want to avoid owning liabilities that you think are assets. And some of those are cars, homes, jewelry, right? Those are the main three liabilities that you want to avoid, because they simply don't offer you appreciation of value. They don't offer you return of capital, things like that. They more than likely depreciate with value, besides a home. And the reason a home is a liability is because it has a mortgage attached to it. And now realtors and bankers are going to tell you, oh, a home is a great investment, it's going to appreciate in value, and over time is going to be, yes, that's all very true. But what they don't take into consideration is the interest rate compared to your mortgage over 30 years. On a $300,000 house, they're going to end up paying close to $700,000 or $800,000. Yes, your value has been going up about 2 or 3% per year, and so has your interest rate. Your interest rate has been 2 or 3 or 4 or 5% every year. So essentially, this at the same rate that the house is going up in value, you're paying it right back in interest. So how is that an asset? And then number two is that it doesn't put money into your pocket. It costs you money every month. It costs you money in maintenance. It costs you money in taxes. It costs you money every month. So how is a house an investment? How is a house an asset? Assets are things that put money into your pocket. Liabilities are things that take money out of your pocket. You want to accumulate more things that's putting money into your pocket to make your pockets fatter. So that way you can go out and buy the liabilities that you really want without it even really affecting your financial situation. So you want to be at a point where if you want a Lamborghini, you want your assets to be able to cover that Lamborghini tenfold before owning a Lamborghini, or even fivefold, whatever position or in relation to your goals. So, for example, a Lamborghini has been my dream car since I was like 8. So before I get a Lamborghini, I need to make sure that I have at least $1 million net worth and at least a certain amount of cash flow and financial independence and financial freedom before I even decide to even go purchase that vehicle. Now I know I want the vehicle. I know it's a goal of mine, but my wealth goals are more important than looking like I'm wealthy, than showing off my wealth. Showing off your wealth will make you lose it quicker than you've gained it. So you don't need to go out and flaunt that you're a millionaire and go buy a nice fancy foreign or European car, whatever it is, or start traveling, going on luxury vacations, blowing $5,000-$10,000 per trip. You don't need to start doing that because you think you've made it. Don't start showing your wealth just because you've accumulated it. That's one thing. So let's get into this assets versus liabilities. So again, assets. Assets are things you own. So the assets that you want to own are stocks, gold, real estate, and businesses. And the reason you want to own stocks is because they return value in the form of, again, dividends or capital appreciation. You want to own businesses because they give you return on investment in the form of cash flow. And again, business it's called valuation. So if your business is valued at $10 million and you've only invested $10,000 to start the business, that's one hell of a return on investment because you are able to turn $10,000 and scale a service or product into multiple employees or into multiple different services and products to have your business valued at 10 million. So a business is an asset in that sense that it appreciates, it grows, it puts money into your pocket, right? Same thing with stocks, especially dividend paying stocks. It puts money back into your pocket, cash flow, okay? Real estate. Real estate is plain and simple. We all need somewhere to sleep and lay our head at night. Everybody in the world will always need an indoor space where they can lay their head at night. And that's just on a residential standpoint. There also will always be a need for spaces where people meet and hang out, things like that. Real estate it's not just buildings. Real estate extends as far as land and farm and agriculture, things like that. Real estate is not just buildings in homes. It can be office buildings. It can be recreational buildings. It can be governmental buildings, et cetera, et cetera. Real estate is so powerful because it's a mega wealth building asset that you need to have in your portfolio. So again, you want to have assets, real estate, stocks, businesses, and gold as a hedge and protection against the other investment classes. So those are the assets that you want to aim to have in your portfolio. Those are the assets that I aim to have in my portfolio. Again, I only teach and I only preach what I actually do for myself and what I actually do and help my clients with. So everything that I cover, I put it into action. I'm putting it into action currently, and I have people and my clients that are putting it into action as well and seeing results from it. So assets that you want to own is real estate, which basically means any home or building or land or farm or whatever it is that's not yours, because you want it to produce cash flow. You want to be able to take advantage of the appreciation and in the depreciation, tax write-offs, and the expenses and all that. You want to take advantage of that. You can't do that with your own uh, home. The government and the tax system incentivizes those investors and people who build wealth and entrepreneurs who provide housing for others. That's why people who own real estate pay very little taxes, is because the tax system incentivizes people to do that, because the government either doesn't want to or doesn't have the capacity to provide the housing for individuals. So they give the people the opportunity to do it and reward them for it, because they take on a greater than normal financial risk to make that happen for other people. And again, business, you want to own a business or a piece of a business, and you can do that through stocks or directly own a piece of a business. So if you have a friend that owns a lash bar, say, hey girl, or I'll give you $10,000 if you give me 20% of the business, or I'll give you 10,000 in capital for 5% of the business profits. All right. I mean, it's that simple. Or your homeboy owns a barbershop. Hey, look, I give you 10,000 in capital if in a loan for in turn for 5 or 10% worth of equity in the shop. I want to be an angel investor in your shop and help you fuel your growth. There's multiple ways where you can own a business without having to start it from scratch and be a creative entrepreneur. Not everybody needs to do that, but you need to understand the power and leverage of business and entrepreneurship. So let's move over to the liability side. Liabilities you want to avoid: cars, 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 cars. Cars are depreciating assets. Cars lose their value the moment they get driven off of the lot. You put 1 mile on a car, the value goes down. Your first 100 miles, I mean, like, it's just throwing money in the trash, lighting, putting it on fire, and then throwing lighter fluid on top of it. Like, that's what you do when you buy a car, especially on a loan. When you get a car loan, like, you're literally that's just dumb on top of dumb on top of dumb, because, and I don't mean to call nobody dumb, but the decision is because you're literally paying more than what the car is worth, and at the same time the car is going down. So if you get a $20,000 car loan, and a year later you've been paying the car down and you paid off, let's call it $3,000 worth of the car over a year. And the reason it's going to be that low is because the first couple of years, a big chunk of your payment is interest. The bank wants their money up front. All right. So you paid a $20,000 loan down to $17,000. When you got the car, essentially the car was worth what? 20, because you got the loan for 20. Now you have a loan for 17,000, but your car is probably worth 15. And this happens year over year. So while you're paying down the loan, the car is depreciating faster than you can pay off the daggone loan. And imagine doing this over and over and then trading in the car and rolling money in to another loan. Like, you just burning money. All right. So we want to avoid cars that have loans attached to them. And that doesn't mean just go out and buy a $20,000 car because you got the cash either. Make sure you're in a financial position that makes sense for you to go ahead and take on that financial responsibility, because you want to be able to maintain the car. You want to be able to pay for the yearly maintenance, the oil changes, the tires, anything that goes wrong, the insurance, any accessory. That you really want to be able to enjoy the car and not enjoy it for a month or two and then realize that half of your check every month is going to pay off this car because you wanted it so bad, because it looked good and you wanted to post it on social media and you want to drive around a nice fancy car, but you killing yourself and you killing your wealth just to drive a nice car. Like, it doesn't make sense. And then to think that so many people are in that position, and that's just one of 5 liabilities that they own. And they think that they're assets. They think that they're making it. They think that they're doing the right thing. And you can't blame them because they're just financially illiterate. But the fact that you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 liabilities that you think are assets that are costing you hundreds of dollars every month, and you leaving no money left over for yourself every month, and you wonder why you look up 5 years later and you haven't improved your situation. You may have improved it with things. You may have improved it with a better house, better apartment, luxury apartment. You may have improved it with better vacations. You may have improved it with a better car, or even a second car, or 2 cars in a truck, or whatever it is. You may have improved it on that sense. But what does your balance sheet look like? What does your net worth look like? Has that improved? Or has that went down because you've taken on so many liabilities thinking that they were assets? And now your balance sheet shows that you have a negative net worth of $100,000 because you decided to go accumulate things and not assets. Assets are not things. Assets are assets. Things are things. Wealthy people take their income and they buy assets that produce income, and they repeat that cycle over and over. They avoid the liability column because they understand that that's poison to your wealth. You want to make sure that you're adding as many assets as you can and reducing the amount of liabilities that you have. Because again, you just don't want to be in a situation where you look up 5 or 10 years later and you're like, oh my goodness, I've been working here for 5 years, busting my butt, got a little raise here and there, and I still can't. I'm still paycheck to paycheck. I still only have X, Y, and Z. Like, I wonder why. You need to take a look at your balance sheet. That's what the assets versus liabilities is really all about. Understanding your balance sheet. Your balance sheet, your personal balance sheet will show you your net worth. Your net worth should be going up every day. Every single day, your net worth should be going up. Even if the market is going down and you have stock portfolios and 401ks, your net worth still should be going up. Why? Because you wake up every day and more than likely you earn money 5 out of 7 days. Most people earn money 5 out of 7 days a week. So if you're going to work 8 hours a day for 5 days a week, 40 hours a week, and you're earning a paycheck, why is your net worth going down or not moving at all if you're going to earn money? That should make you think, what does my balance sheet look like? What do my assets look like? Do I have too many liabilities? Do I have any liabilities? Do I have any assets? Do I have enough assets? How many assets should I own? What are my goals? Those are questions you want to ask yourself. Like, stop just wandering aimlessly and wondering why you never achieve any financial success. It's because you don't even understand the basic things of assets versus liabilities. But it's okay, because as long as you go seek the information and better your financial situation, then it's okay, because we all got to start somewhere. All right. So again, understand assets versus liabilities. I'm not going to keep rambling on about it, but I mean, this is important. You need to understand. Stop putting your money in the trash. Literally throwing your money away every single month. And wonder why you're not moving anywhere. You're not progressing financially. I'm speaking strictly financially here. Yes, you want to enjoy your life. Yes, you want to have nice things, but it's a time and place for those things. It's called patience. It's called discipline. It's called understanding where you are. It's called living to your standard. Your standard may be luxury, but your paycheck may be, I need to live in the hood. And there's nothing wrong with that. And we got to stop making it a bad thing for people to take on or live in less than, quote unquote, less than places because it's not a luxury apartment, or because you don't drive a 2018 with a screen in the inside and a backup camera and Bluetooth and tinted windows. So because you don't drive those things, you feel obligated that you need to live up to that lifestyle. Stop trying to keep up with the Joneses. Because I promise you, the Joneses balance sheet is all messed up. Their net worth is down the toilet. Net worth is down the toilet. They may flaunt it. They may look like they got it, but I guarantee you that they don't have it. Especially anybody under 30. And I don't care how much money you make. If you're under 30 and you flashing and yes, live your life, but it's the way you do it, is the way you go about it. If you carrying yourself like, oh yeah, I got this, I got the 2020, got the 2021, you know what I'm saying? Just I'm about to go to Spain, you know what I'm saying? We're going to Dubai next month. No, if you living like that and you less than 30 without understanding what your financial independence number is, without understanding what your cash flow is, without even understanding if you're financially free enough or not, what your retirement goals are, what your income expenses. If you don't know none of that, it don't matter how you living because it's going to catch up to you at some point. So leave the social media alone. Take a break. Get to know you, what you really want, what you really need to help you achieve what you really want. Again, I know me for myself, I like cars. I love cars actually. I love toys. I like guns, cars. I like man stuff. I like all the stuff that men like, fast cars, sports cars, luxury cars, nice apartments, cigars, vacations. I like all that. Suits, red bottoms, designer, Louis Vuitton. I love it all. But I understand that I need to have patience and I understand that I need to have discipline because my assets aren't nowhere near where they need to be in relation to the one liability that I do have, which is student loans. So I'm forcing myself to wait to even start really getting a taste of that life again. And I say again because I was living it and I shouldn't have been living it before. I was living it prematurely. So before I start living that life again, I want to make sure that I'm worth $100,000, and I want to make sure that my dividend portfolio has $100,000 in it. So until I hit those two milestones, I won't be living it up no type of way. Yes, I'll have my experiences here and there. Yes, I may take a trip here and there, but it will be nowhere near to the level of I'm just blowing money because I'm young and I want to live life and I want to experience and I want to enjoy the golden year. Like I ain't into all that. Because what most people don't understand is we got a long life to live. It ain't short. Depends on how you want to live it. And it depends on how you want to take care of yourself. So don't let that you only live once in life is short thing fool you into giving up your wealth for short-term pleasures and short-term enjoyment. Because just like anything in life, as kids, you want something so bad, even as adults, we want something so bad that when you get it, you're excited. You're still excited that you have gotten it, you're experiencing it, whatever it is. And then after a while, it starts to die down and reality kicks in. And then you got to find something else. Stop chasing that high. All right. That chasing that high will have you broke. Yes, we love luxury cars and stuff, but again, back to my point, you want to enjoy it. So, moral of the story: focus on the asset column. Left side of the sheet is assets. Right side of the sheet is liabilities. The difference between the left side minus the right side is your net worth. If your net worth is negative, stop looking up vacations. Stop looking up places to go unless it's very, very, very budget friendly. Stop looking up cars or look them up and print out a picture and post it as motivation. But don't look it up to try and go buy it. Don't look up the vacations to try and go book them. Look them up, print them out as vision board, pieces. Yes, but let's not look them up in order to try to plan and buy them. And our net worth is below zero or even below 10, 20,000. Really, start rewarding yourself for hitting milestones. All right, cool. Got your first 1,000 in net worth. Go on a weekend trip somewhere. Sure. Got your first 10,000 in net worth. Okay, cool. Maybe buy yourself something for $500. Okay, you got 25,000, 50,000 in net worth. Okay, cool. Take yourself an international trip. Go out of the country for a week. Cool. But and let's make it in sensible steps and sensible chunks. and not just all willy-nilly because we see everybody else doing it and we feel like we need to go out the country just because. Like you have no you just out the country. You just driving a luxury car just because. You got the Benz and the BMW or the Range Rover or the Wrangler, and you just yeah. It look tough, don't it? Come on. Come on. Do the things that you really want to do. That's why I say get away from social media, get away from influence, and figure out what you really want and what you really want to spend your money on and double down on that. But again, reward yourself in increments. Reward yourself for hitting milestones in your assets versus liability column. Net worth, net worth, net worth. Focus on that and reward yourself based on that. All right. So again, the Kenyon Seller Show, weekly Tuesdays at 6:30. If I don't see you next week, we're gonna fight. Say no. But yes, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the podcast, Kenyon Sellers Podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all other podcast platforms. Be sure to tune in to the show weekly. Again, live stream weekly. I will start posting more videos as well on YouTube. So just be sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. You don't miss a video. Podcast, subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Listen to it on the go. Listen to it on your drive to and from work or when you get a break or whenever you want to do your finance review, whatever it is. Get into your money, okay? I'm here to help you get into that. I'm here to help you get into that wealth. I'm here to help you become an investor, okay? So again, thank you guys so much. This is the Kenyon Seller Show, and until next time, peace.